16 years ago, my world came crashing down when I received the news that my mother had been diagnosed with liver cancer. For an 11-year-old to hear that news, it was devastating, it was traumatizing, and it was something that I never thought my family and I would have to go through. My mom fought for 2 years of her life, and within those 2 years, my family and I experienced so many hardships. Trips back and forth from the hospital, coming home from school, and seeing my mom laying on the couch helpless. It's something that an 11-year-old never thinks that she would ever have to go through. In October of my 8th grade year of high school, I lost my mom. I lost my best friend. I lost the person who meant the most to me. And from that day forward, I knew that I wanted to keep her memory alive in all that I did. Since the day my mom passed away, I've been devoted to giving back to my community in any way that I possibly can. Throughout my high school years, my friends and I participated in various cancer-related fundraisers such as Relay for Life. And all of these small fundraisers led to our big idea of Think Big, which we started in college.
Think big. What does it mean to me? Well, I can remember about 7 years ago, a young Cassandra Niglio, I think she was about 20 years old, marched into my office and closed the door, said to me, "I have something I want to pitch to you." And I'd known Cassandra through her time here at high school. I also knew her from doing some talent shows and some other activities that she did in the school. She pitched this idea of a dance marathon. Lisa, she said, I want to do a dance marathon. I want to raise money for kids and families that have cancer in their life, and I think it could be a great thing. So initially when she said dance marathon, a lot of things going through my head, liability issues, kids running all over the school issues, but I know Cassandra, I know her family, I know where her heart is, and I know she's going to surround herself with good people. So I thought this could be really a great idea. So we ran with it. Well, she ran with it. I just said, okay, I'll support you. And who would imagine that 7 years later, this young adult and a group of friends have made such an impact on our community and have raised thousands and thousands of dollars for cancer. So that's what I think about when I think about Think Big. I think of a young girl who had a huge idea and made a huge impact with her and her friends on our community. So make sure we see you there.
I remember you coming to me as juniors in college and saying, I have this big idea, and me just holding my breath thinking, what could she possibly say? What could this big idea be?
As if we didn't have enough on our plate already.
Exactly. I mean, we have been doing things our whole lives, and I had no idea what you were going to possibly say. And then you said, I want to hold a 12-hour dance marathon. And you were so serious about it, you didn't think twice. And I thought, how are we as 20-year-olds in college, full-time college students, going to pull this off?
I pitched the idea to the school. We sat down and we realized that we couldn't do this alone. We needed an army of people. We needed the right people. We needed people who wanted to make a difference as much as we did.
Right, and I think sitting down and, choosing those people wisely, we knew that this wasn't going to happen with just anyone, and we needed people as dedicated to this cause as we were. Lucky for us, we have those people in our lives who are willing to jump on board and give it their all.
That's the perks of living in a small community and having those family and friends and administrators and teachers and students who are going to stand behind you in anything that you do.
Right.
It started out with the four of us, me, you, Sammy, and Rachel. We knew that we needed to ask somebody within the school district if we wanted this event to keep growing.
Right, yeah, we definitely needed to expand on who was involved in this cause, and sitting down thinking there was no one else other than Anna, who has been such a role model in our lives since we were 14 years old, and she's always been there for us no matter what we needed, and we knew that she would be the perfect person to bring on board.
I started coaching you guys in that same fall that your mom died, and I still think that it was fate that, I got brought into your lives probably when you needed me the most. As a teacher, I think the biggest thing with me is teaching these kids, in the school, in the elementary school from a very young age, that they have to think about others and they have to be kind to people. And one of the things I tell these kids, when they think about signing up for Think Big, is there's a lot of kids out there who aren't in school at this time, or they're not playing sports, and they're not at home with their families, that they're, in a hospital, they're going through treatment, they're going through these very hard times. And I think what we want to do is try and teach our kids to reach out and be that person who doesn't just automatically think about themselves, and they want to help people less fortunate than them, and be part of something great and bigger than themselves. I think when kids first sign up for Think Big, they sign up because they want to hang out with their friends, and they want 12 hours of uninterrupted fun and games with their friends.
But how about that kid when you asked, the students why they think big and what are they doing this for?
Yeah, so I'm in a first grade classroom, and we asked the kids, why do you think big? Why do you sign up for Think Big? And I fully expected him to say, to play games with my friends all day. And this little first grader raises his hand and says, because I want to help kids with cancer. And I think at that moment, we all realized that what we were doing was making a difference, and that we were changing the attitudes, and we were doing something for the betterment of our school. And I think, Think Big really matters, and it changes the attitudes of our kids.
I know someone who has been affected with cancer, and it's especially hard knowing kids go through it as well. This not only affects them physically, but emotionally, and it affects their families too.
When I first got involved in Think Big, I did it because everybody else was doing it. One day I came home from school, and my Aunt Tanya wanted to sit us down and talk to us. That day forward, my life was completely changed. What I went through, I know what my family went through, and nobody should have to go through this alone. If I can make a difference in one person's life by being involved with Think Big, then I did my part.
The reason I think big is because pediatric cancer is a disease that can affect any child at any given time. Just like that, a family's life can be completely flipped upside down. That's why our group gets together every single year to raise money to try to put their lives back the way they were.
Involved in Think Big to give back to the kids battling pediatric cancer, and the families that have to take off time of work and everything else to be with their kids in the hospitals to see them get better. Ever since I've been a young kid, my cousin died when I was 4 years old of pediatric cancer, and to me this is something much stronger and much closer inside of me to give back to people that have a chance.
The Think Big group is a fantastic organization in both the school district of Mount Carmel and the community at large. The organizers of Think Big do a great job pulling kids together, is attended by hundreds of kids. However, they do events throughout the course of the year and have raised more money each year for cancer and pediatric cancer. The school district certainly can't thank them enough for what they do for it. It is very positive role models in both the school and the community.
Jacqueline, I was previously a student leader for 2 years while in high school, but now I come back to this event each year to volunteer. I come back each year to volunteer for this event because I truly believe it's incredible to see what this organization has done for my community. The atmosphere that happens at Think Big when everyone comes together for one common cause to help fight pediatric cancer is truly incredible.
I volunteer for Think Big because I've been a nurse for over 20 years, and I've seen firsthand what a cancer diagnosis can do to a child and their family. Not only physically, spiritually, emotionally, but what it can do to them financially. 90% of the funds we raise here by our local Think Big organization stay right here in Northumberland County and central Pennsylvania. That's why I ask you to consider making a donation, becoming a volunteer, or attending our Think Big Dance Marathon on November 2nd.
I got involved in Think Big because of Cassandra and her mom Denise. Cassandra's mom Denise, when she became sick, her biggest worry was Cassandra. And I told her that I would support Cassandra in anything that I could. When Cassandra started Think Big, it just was something that I wanted to be involved with, first because of Cassandra and Denise, and obviously because of children.
Think Big. What is Think Big? Think Big is a mindset, not just from our students, from an entire community. An entire community that is 69% economically disadvantaged. The average income of an individual is less than $21,000 a year. And yet, how in the world do we raise over $184,000 for people we don't even know? That is thinking big.
For the past 6 years, the Mount Carmel Area Dance Marathon has been the #1 contributor to the Think Big Pediatric Cancer Fund. Raising over $184,000, this school district and community helped alleviate the financial burden of over 100 families in Northeast and Central PA. Although we started out small, our dream was to always continue to grow and get more people involved. We want to teach our youth and community to always think big and to remember there are a lot of people who are less fortunate than them. The money doesn't go to the hospitals. It doesn't go towards treatment or research. This money goes directly in the hands of the families. This helps lessen the burdens of bills that the family endures while their child receives treatment. This allows parents or caregivers to be with their child and not to have to focus on anything else.
We live in a world where the news tends to focus on the negative things. We are just a small community in Pennsylvania trying to think big and be a part of something great.